That's very cool. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about something that is really hot, really new, and maybe a little different from what you've heard about. Kris Krug is here. He's the founder of Bright, BRYGHT.com, and a great photographer, and also kind of a commentator on all of these Web 2.0 things. We're just getting used to the idea of a blog. Now we got microblogs.
Right.
What is a microblog?
A microblog is like a very short snippet, almost like the size of a text message. So it's a great medium for broadcasting out an idea or a thought or a location.
I like it because I don't have to write a big long post. I can just write one sentence. I'm talking to Kris and send it out. And that's kind of the complaint some people have about these microblogs, is that they tend to be kind of trivial for that reason, right?
That's right.
It's mostly what I had for lunch, what I'm doing right now.
It's a new technology. People haven't totally figured out how to deal with it yet. They see something in front of them. They microblog about whatever's right in front of their face. But yeah, we're seeing some people begin to use it for rallying groups of friends, kind of an impromptu place. Hey, I'm going to 6 acres after work. Who wants to be down there? It broadcasts out to everybody, as opposed to a text message that just gets sent to one person.
So it's kind of like instant message, kind of like text messaging. But
kind of like blogging. Everything gets a permalink, so every post that you send out on a microblogging platform like Twitter or Jaiku or Pownce gets a link so that Google can index it, and it's a permanent record of the internet. So
could be good or bad depending on what you're saying.
And on sites like Twitter has really good Google PageRank, so things that you Twitter come up very high on.
I noticed that when I use Twitter a lot, that all of a sudden my Twitter postings were showing up in my Google search results, and I thought, I don't know if this is really what I want.
Yeah.
So Twitter was the first one I became aware of. Is it the first of these? I suppose other people could lay claim to it.
About a year ago. It was launched by Evan Williams, who started Blogger and started Odeo, the podcasting utility.
Right.
And
so let's take a look. This is Twitter.
This is Twitter. It's been around for about a year. Essentially, you can type here your update on...
You're always kind of answering that question, what are you doing, right? And then... Okay, so you're limited to, what, 140 characters?
140 characters, right.
And is that because that's the length of a text message? Or?
Yeah, so Twitter, unlike the other ones, launched with mobile integration. So this application isn't tied to the desktop or the computer at all. You can IM your Twitter updates into the system. You can Skype them in. You can instant message them in.
No matter where you are.
That's right. And you can receive them as well. So I receive yours and some other people's tweets on my cell phone.
Oh, interesting.
And yeah, so you can choose how you want to send them and choose how you'd like to receive them.
Can you choose who you listen to?
You can choose who you listen to. Unlike some of the other ones, like Pownce, which I'm going to show you in a second, Pownce allows you to group up your friends, which is obviously a very useful thing. I may just want to broadcast to my Vancouver friends, or my friends at Bright, or my photography friends. Twitter only allows you to do direct messages, like directly to Leo or to the whole world. Public.
That's the choice.
That's the choice, public or direct.
And unlike Pownce and Jaiku, Twitter doesn't have threads or comments upon posts. You're just kind of all one big...
It's just kind of thrown out into the cloud, right? And
can we just read what some people are posting on Twitter right now? I just want to give people a sense of what kinds of things you might read.
Friends saying, sad we'll be missing Gnome Decks this year. Here's a buddy of mine who just got my tweet that I just sent. It says,
break a leg.
At KK, break a leg on the Leo Laporte.
So the at is saying it's to you.
That's the indication that it's a direct message. So he wrote at KK. The main difference is it'll send me an email notification as well as just being thrown out into the cloud.
So other people will see the at KK.
Everyone sees the at KK.
If they subscribe to his feed.
Right.
Okay. So that's Twitter. That's the old guy. Yep. The advantage of Twitter, it's pretty straightforward. It's what you see is what you get.
Sign up quickly. One difficult thing is it's not very easy to add your friends. I'm not sure why they've done this, but as you notice on like Facebook or on LinkedIn, you can go in and have it search your email address book and pull out all your friends who are on the system. These things don't offer that. So the best way to find your friends is to go to somebody else who's already on and to look at their friend list and to start adding the people that you know.
I actually have done that. I've gone to yours and I've gone to Amber's to see who we know in common, friends in common, and then I'll click them and say, oh, I'd like to watch
I kind of think of it as instant messenger, but with permalinks so that it stays out there all the time and that it's broadcast to anyone who wants to listen.
Now, Pownce is newer. Pownce is Kevin Rose's project with Leah Culver, Daniel Burka.
That's right, some of the folks from Dig. This is Pownce. You can see it's got a little bit of a nicer interface. I prefer the way that it
Daniel's
a
great designer.
Yeah.
Not as many choices, though. You can change the background on Twitter and Jaiku to anything you want. On Pownce, you only have 4 choices.
That's right. 4 themed choices. So they're they hang together a little bit better than the ones that you kind of mix and match yourself, like on Twitter.
But it's very similar in the sense you post a note.
All right, here's the big difference, though. You can only send text messages really on Twitter. You're mainly sending text thoughts back and forth. With Pownce, you can do links, files, and events. So you can blast out to these people not just a 140 character text message, but you can send them up to 10 megs of files for free. So oftentimes I'll get songs from friends. If they're listening to a song, they'll post it up and it'll blast it out.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
So it's a way of sharing music or files of any kind.
Yeah.
Also inviting people to parties. If you want to have an event, you can actually send out an invitation.
I posted one here this morning for Bar Camp Vancouver, this event that we have coming up here next week. So yeah, I invited a bunch of folks out to that, and there's been a couple little responses.
Now I know some of these have replies, and that's one thing that's also different is the replies are kind of stacked in there separately
some good replies,
There's one with 14 replies from Justine.
Is technology ruining your marriage relationship?
So people are responding to this. And then this is more like a message board then.
Yep, and each one of these has a permalink. It's indexable like Google, so these things will start to show up in search results.
Interesting. So that's very different from Twitter, this ability to have a conversation around one thing. Yeah.
The conversation is a lot less threaded or kind of like coupled together on Twitter. You have to, both of these tools, it's really hard to consume them. I find it a lot easier to talk than to listen.
Oh, that's a very good point. A lot of people complain about that it's more about than it is about,
Exactly. It's kind of hard to dial in. It does publish RSS feeds like blogs and podcasts and things, but they don't exactly make them very public. You have to actually kind of hack around a little bit or Google Pownce RSS feed to find out where they are and then subscribe.
When I left Twitter, I went to something called Jaiku. We've shown that before. It's out of Finland, so it has a little bit of a disadvantage. Both Twitter and Pownce are San Francisco based, and they've got the San Francisco crowd very much involved. Jaiku is global. I actually really like Jaiku. It has many of the same features. Doesn't have the file transfer feature, but it does have a little bit more about your presence, especially if you have a cell phone.
And it allows you to pull in your RSS feed like we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I like that too. So, for instance, on my Jaiku, when I put out a podcast, it'll show up as one of the things I'm doing without me doing anything at all.
As if it's a deliberate tweet.
Yeah, exactly. Very interesting. You think this is going to take off, or is this just kind of another one of those?
I think it will very much take off. I think in some ways, while Pownce is more fully featured, I think the fact that Twitter launched with the whole mobile thing is really a big deal. I mean, I can receive internet updates from my friends who are online sitting at their desks on my phone, and I can respond back to them, and I can add friends like Facebook Mobile.
Is there a business use for this as well? I mean, is it a way of keeping in touch with a work group?
I do have a group here on my list that's my Bright contacts, and I send messages to those guys when I come and go.
It's a way of broadcasting to the whole group. And of course, I guess if this is going to survive, it'll also have to make money. Are there ways for these companies to make money on this stuff?
Right now, both of them have a free version where they have Google ads alongside. Now, I don't know if that's enough for them to sustain themselves, especially in the case of Twitter, where there's a whole lot of SMS flying back and forth.
Huge growth,
and SMS does have a real cost every time someone is sent. Pownce has a pro version. They take away the ads. It's only $20 a year, and you can send files up to 100 megabytes. So you can post maybe a whole album instead of a song.
I paid for the pro version right away.
Yeah.
I haven't posted any, ironically, I haven't uploaded any files, but I just wanted to
both of these are kind of similar to how a lot of people are using their Facebook status updates, too. You know, here's my Facebook profile, and you can send these status updates.
Facebook is another one that's just kind of the same idea, where you put them up there, and then people know what you're up to.
Main difference is they don't have permalinks. There's not any way for Google to index them, or you can't.
Only your friends really see them.
You couldn't like send a link in an email to a Facebook status update.
That's something you could not. Well, you're KK on Twitter.
That's right.
I am not on Twitter, but I am on Jaiku as Chief Twit. Don't ask. And on Pownce, it's Leo Laporte. And we'll see you in one of those places, maybe. Thank you, Kris. Kris Krug is at bryght.com if you want to know more about a fantastic place to get a Drupal site up for your community or organization. We'll be back with more in just a bit as the Lab with Leo continues. Stay right here.